Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there lived a young woman named Emma who had a heart full of love and faith in Jesus Christ. And she was a devout Christian, and she believed strongly in sharing the message of Jesus with others. Well, she happened to be walking through a park one day, and she came across an elderly man sitting on a bench. And he had a contemplative look on his face. Feeling a nudge in her heart, Emma approached him, sat down on the bench, introduced herself with a warm smile, and the man, Mr. Johnson, she struck up a conversation with him. They began chatting. Simple things, the weather, the beauty of the park, and soon enough, over the course of several days of doing this, and she would come to the park and there would be Mr. Johnson on the bench, they began to talk about deeper subjects. It turns out that, as Emma found out, that Mr. Johnson had lost his wife recently, and he was struggling to find some kind of peace, and so he would sit on this park bench and wait for that peace to come. Emma listened intently, offering compassion and understanding, didn't rush to speak about Jesus at all, and just chose to listen to Mr. Johnson's heartache and his life story. They spent a lot of time together on that park bench over the following weeks, and Emma noticed how Mr. Johnson's eyes would light up whenever he would talk about his wife and their life together, and how that was the time of his life, and he felt so lost now that she was gone. Emma was able to talk about the peace in her own life. And as Mr. Johnson would talk about how much he cherished his life with his wife over those many years, Emma was able to say, yeah, and I've had joy and peace in my life. And Mr. Johnson would ask her, how did you find that joy and peace? And then Emma was able to tell him about her faith in Jesus and how Jesus sustained her through difficult times. One day, Mr. Johnson asked Emma about that unwavering hope and how he could have it despite life's challenges, how Jesus could help him find that peace and joy. And so Emma was able, after many weeks of listening and asking questions, to invite her new friend, to church. And Mr. Johnson accepted, and they went to church the following weekend. And then over the next couple weeks, Emma and Mr. Johnson would sit in the pew together and listen to the pastor's message and sing hymns of hope and joy and learn about that peace of Jesus in church. And from that day on, Emma was able to more readily share her faith in Jesus as she listened and asked questions. Mr. Johnson eventually joined the church and would profess his faith in Jesus as well, and he found that newfound sense of hope and peace that he had had throughout his life with his former wife, his late wife. And he was looking forward to that time when he would have a happy reunion in heaven with her. As a follower of Jesus, that's what we're called to do. Witness to Jesus by listening, by asking questions, and eventually finding ways to witness to the message of Jesus, how he lived and died and rose again to save us all from sin and to give us all hope and peace.